He has an Opus card and a microphone. You're in transit with Elias Mackos. CJAD 800.
Oh, what's the worst roads that you're riding on right now? Send me a text message at 514-790-0800 on the roads that you're seeing that are absolute disasters as we've gone through deep freezes and thaws. And you know what that means for this city. Potholes. Note from a listener about the Boulevard in Westmount being a complete and utter disaster. When we want to talk about the state of roads, I know of no better voice than CJAD 800's Wall of Fame traffic reporter. Rick Leckner is on the line. Hi, Rick.
Good morning, Elias, and Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Rick. So listen.
By the way, I'll interrupt you very quickly and say, you mentioned the Boulevard. I just go, oh, please, because that has been over the years and for many, many years done by design to avoid traffic, to ensure that people don't use the Boulevard as a thoroughfare through Westmount. But unfortunately, but I understand from the new administration that there is a plan at some point in the hopefully near future to redo it and hopefully redo it properly.
Well, you know what? Let me start off with this question here. If we're going to talk about Westmount, right, and maybe some non-city of Montreal cities, can I say, Rick, that to me, the worst roads on the island of Montreal are not residential roads, are not city of Montreal roads. In recent memory for me, it's Westmount, Hampstead. You see the photos of Ellerdale and Hampstead. Montreal West. Like, whenever I drive, it's those streets I find worse. Should we be throwing more shade at the demerged cities and towns on the island of Montreal when it comes to road quality?
Well, there's two factors. One is money, okay, and budgets, because don't forget, a lot of the money goes to the agglomeration, which is the, even though they're demerged, they're still paying into the agglomeration for police and fire and water, and I'm sure many of them don't feel they're getting their money's worth. And the other thing is just, it's, as I say, by design in some cases, just so that people don't travel those roads, which is not the best thing. But it's and the other thing is a lack of coordination, because and this is true of the boroughs as well, which is something that hopefully will change. When you have 19 boroughs and 15 demerged cities or whatever it is doing their own thing, it just does not work.
But do we have a definitive answer here, Rick, as to why other places with similar climates to Montreal? There's no question Montreal is a tough climate. We use a lot of salt. There's no question. But as people often point out to me, they go to other similar climate cities. They don't see the same thing. Do we actually have an answer as to why that is? Is it just the dollars and cents? Is there something else happening, or is it shoddy work?
It's shoddy work from the outset. It's like, if you have a bad tooth, and I'll use this as an analogy, and they keep filling the cavity, but they're not giving you a root canal, you're just going to have to keep filling that cavity. And this is what they do. The shoddy work goes back to when the roads were first built many, many years ago, and we all know what happened with the Charbonneau Commission, but it's beneath the surface that it was not done properly. And even when the repairs all they're doing now are plugging potholes. They're not fixing the roadbed. And so that salt and look, the temperature between today, tomorrow, and next Thursday, once again, is going to be, a yo-yo.
Yeah.
And that's horrible for the roads, but they have to be, but listen, everybody knows what the winters and the variances in temperatures are. But again, as many people say, you cross the border into Ontario, and it's not as if, you're crossing from winter into summer or from Quebec into Florida. But their roads are much better, and it's because of the fact that they weren't built properly in the first place. They aren't being repaired properly, and the money was not allocated to it, or sufficient monies were not allocated. And some of the money is now good money after bad. Because it's just not being done. By the way, before we end this conversation, I really want to address Cavendish, because there is some good news.
Okay, so Rick, let's get to Cavendish and the budget, the City of Montreal budget. We had Claude Pinard on the program just about half an hour ago. I asked him about Cavendish. Here's what he said. Yesterday?
Absolutely. So there's money over the 10-year span, but this being said, we're starting right now. There's studies that need to be completed.
Yeah.
We've committed to that. It's there.
Okay, so we could say the budget is good news for those who have been pining for this Cavendish extension.
Yeah, we need to finish the studies, then we'll make a decision.
So I like the answer, but then I was like, we need to finish the studies. Like, oh, no, not more studies. Rick, how do you view it?
I don't like the end of that answer. We need to make a decision. But what the budget specifically says, and at least the name or the word Cavendish is back in the budget, which was removed in 2013. By the way, since 2017, when the original deal was made with the province of Quebec to exchange the Hippodrome land for the extension of Cavendish, nothing has been spent on it. There's been zero money spent in terms of CapEx. But in the budget deposited yesterday, it says priorities will focus on defining solutions for opening up access, studying the Cavendish link, and planning infrastructure work. There's no timeline, no specific dollars, but at least it's back in there, and the mayor in her campaign has made it very clear that this will happen. So we need to get to this first step, which are the BAP or environmental hearings. I don't think that'll happen this year, but we need to just keep the pressure on.
And again, good news that it's there, but it does seem there's a bit of cautiousness from this budget on committing to any individual product full throttle, which is my hesitation here.
Well, it's early stages, and look, you know Alan D'Souza, like I know Alan D'Souza, and I had a conversation with him on Sunday morning about this, because fortunately we stay in touch, and I said this at the end of the year. I was on, actually, I think it was Christmas Eve, with Jay Farrar filling in for you. And I am more confident than ever now that at least through me to some degree, Montrealers will have a voice in what the city hears, because Alan is understanding the needs, and I think is willing to do what can be done within the confines of the budget. But at least I think the window is open now.
Let me tell you, our listeners have not stopped texting me their picks for the worst roads in the city, Rick. Grande Allée, off island, I got one on Saint Hubert and Brossard. Grande Allée apparently is a nightmare. Crémazie, a couple of votes for Crémazie. Also a note here on Côte de Liesse in TMR near Rockland. And somebody saying Robert Bourassa between René Lévesque and St. Catherine, another nightmare as well.
It's an endless list.
It is. It really is. Hey, Rick, here's hoping to better roads at the end of the day. Thanks for coming on today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Rick Leckner, CJAD 800's Wall of Fame traffic reporter.
I'm Dylan Playfair.
And I'm Tyler Smith.
We're putting loneliness in the penalty box by talking to some of our favorite athletes about the importance of friendship.
This is Bromance.
Bromance is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian owned and operated. Charm has been part of your love stories and bromances for over 50 years.
And you can find Bromance on the iHeartRadio network or wherever you get your podcasts.